Ninth Mathematics Science Group, Paper of 2022, Ninth Mathematics Science Group, and in this paper our target is to do the question number 5, and I will show you the method of matrix inversion. Now in this question I will show you how to solve simultaneous linear equations with the help of matrix inversion method, and I choose that question who has been asked by Lahore board in 2022. So I will show 5 steps, and if you listen carefully the 5 steps, you will do any question to solve two simultaneous equations with the help of matrix inversion method. So the first step is writing in the matrix form. So let's see how we have to write it in matrix form. So first of all, as you put a square bracket here like this and write the coefficients of the variables. Here you can see we have two variables, the x and the y. So here I have the coefficient of this x, which is positive 4, coefficient of this x, which is positive 3, coefficient of this y, which is positive 2, and coefficient of this y, as you can see here. So we have to find capital X which contain xy. So the capital X is equal to inverse of A times the matrix B. Okay, now I just remember you what is the formula for A inverse. You can write it as in the paper, like you all know that A inverse is equal to 1 over determinant of A times adjoint of A. So you can write it in the paper and make a box like this. So according to the formula, here if we find inverse of A, and inverse of A is multiply when with B, so we find the value of capital X, and as capital X originally contain two variables x and y, if we find capital X, it's mean we have find the value of x and the value of y. Now according to the formula, if I name this our second step, so this will become the third step. So according to the formula, I have to find inverse of matrix A. So first of all, in the finding of inverse of A, or you can say if I have to find inverse of matrix A, so I have to do two things. First I have to find determinant, and second I have to take the adjoint of matrix A. These two things are happen in the third step. So first of all I find determinant of A. So it's very simple to find the determinant. You simply write A and put the sign of determinant. Similarly on the right hand side, now you all know that the matrix A is, this whole matrix is matrix A. So write the elements of matrix A here: 4, positive 4, positive 3, positive 2 and negative 1. And you all know how to take the determinant of a matrix. It's very simple to do. Multiply this negative 1 with this 4 and 4 times negative 1 and put a negative sign here, and now multiply this 3 with this 2 times 3. Now solve the above expression and you will get the answer of determinant of A. If you solve, you will get negative 4, negative 6, which is equal to negative 10. And you all know that A determinant is not equal to 0. Now if you get the answer of determinant of A is equal to 0, you cannot proceed your question further. Means you have to stop your answer there if you get that determinant of A is equal to 0. Okay, so here you can see the answer of the determinant is not equal to 0. Now I have told you in the third step I have to find two things. First the determinant of A, second the adjoint of A. Now I calculate adjoint of A. So first of all I write matrix A. The matrix A is positive 4, positive 3, positive 2, negative 1. And now if you write ADJ means adjoint of A and put a sign of equality and the square bracket as it is. So to find the adjoint of A, you have to interchange this diagonal. You have to interchange this diagonal, means negative 1 is in the place of positive 4 and positive 4 is in the place of negative 1. So here I write negative 1 and here I write positive 4. Okay, and these two numbers of this diagonal can written as it is, but their signs will also be changed. Means if this 2 contains positive sign, so this positive turns into negative. This 3 also have a positive sign, so this positive sign is also changed into negative. So this is what we have done in adjoint of A. And I already told you in the second step what is the formula for inverse of matrix A. So its formula is 1 over determinant of A times adjoint of A. So we find these two values. We find determinant of A and also we find adjoint of A. So now put these two values in this formula to get the answer of inverse of A. So what I next have to do is simply put the value of determinant of A here and put the value of adjoint of A here. So simply you all know that the value of determinant of A is negative 10. I find it in the previous page, or I can show you. The determinant of A is negative 10. Here we find it. And the value of adjoint of A is this. So this value is now putting here times adjoint of A, which is negative 1, negative 3, negative 2 and positive 4, and close the square bracket. Now this negative 10 is divided with every number of this matrix. You can write it negative 1 over negative 10, negative 2 over negative 10, negative 3 over negative 10 or 4 over negative 10. It look like bit confusing, so please don't get confused in this step or don't make a mistake. If you solve this, you will get 1 over 10 because this negative and this negative will cancel each other. If you solve this negative and this negative cancel each other. 2 times 5 is 10. So here we get 1 over 5. If you solve this, this negative and this negative cancel each other, so only we left is 3 over 10. And if you solve this, 2 times 2 4 and 2 times 5 is 10. So here we have only negative 2 over 5. So this is the value of A inverse. This is the value of A inverse, or you can say inverse of matrix A. Now I have told you in the start, to find the value of x and y, you have to find capital X. And to find capital X, we have to find inverse of A. And after finding inverse of A, I have to multiply it with the matrix B. So I find inverse of A successfully. Now multiplying this inverse with B. So this is our last step to calculate the value of X and Y. So the last step is that we have to find capital X. I also substitute the value of capital X, that is xy, close the square bracket. The value of inverse of A is we have find here. So put this value in the place of inverse of A. And what is the value of capital B? We let it in the start, and I will show you. We let this 8 negative 1 is equal to B. So I simply replace the value of B. Now if you know how to solve the product of two matrices, you can do this easily. During the paper checking, the majority of the mistake is done by a student here in this step. So before starting the multiplication, you all know the basic rule for the product of two matrices, which is the column of first matrix, the columns of first matrix must be equal to the rows of second matrix. So here in the first matrix we have 2 number of columns, and here in the second matrix we have 2 number of rows. So you can say number of columns in first matrix is equal to number of rows in second matrix. The basic thing, you have to do this basic thing in your mind. After that you have to solve here the product. The product is very simple. You have to multiply this row with this column like this. This 1 over 10 multiply with 8. Put a positive sign here, and now this 1 over 5 multiply with this negative 1. 1 over 5 multiply by this negative 1. So here next step is done. This row is multiplied with this column. 3 over 10 times 8, the positive sign here, negative 2 over 5 times this negative 1. So you can say I put the bracket too far, so I put bracket here and just ignore this. Okay, now arrange and simplify. This becomes 8 by 10, this becomes negative 1 over 5. So here this become 24 over 10, and this become positive 2 over 5. So here we have two fractions, and if you know how to take the LCM of two fractions, you done it correctly. If you don't know, you use scientific calculator to perform these two steps. If you put 8 over 10 negative 1 over 5 in the scientific calculator, you will directly get the answer is equal to 3 over 5. And if you put 24 by 10 positive 2 by 5 in the scientific calculator, you will get your answer is equal to 14 over 5. And this x and this y is written here as it is. So here put the sign of this implies the x is equal to 3 over 5. Put a comma here and the y is equal to 14 over 5. These are the two values we have to find, the value of x and the value of y. Now I will justify the answer that how this is converted into 3 over 5. So now simply write here 8 over 10 negative 1/5. So make the denominator of both fractions same. So multiply this with 2 to get 10. So 8 by 10 negative 2 by 10. So the denominator of both fractions are same. 10, 8, negative 2 is as it is. And you all know that 8 negative 2 is 6 by 10. Now just simplify this. 2 times 3, 6, and 2 times 5 is 10. So here you will get 3 over 5. And now the same process for 24 over 10 plus 2 over 5. 24 over 10 plus 2 over 5. Make the denominator of both fractions same. The greater number in the denominator is 10. So I multiply this side or this fraction with 2 in up and down. So now if you arrange, you will get 10 in the denominator, 24 plus 4. After solving, you have 28 over 10. If you simplify this fraction, you will get 2 times 1 2, 2 times 4 8, and 2 times 5 is 10. So the final answer for the value of y is 14 over 5. And if you don't know how to do this, so use scientific calculator, and it is allowed in the final exam. You can solve this with the help of scientific calculator. So here you have two values for the x and for the y. Now at the end write these two values with marker and make a box to show the paper checker that you find the value of x is this and y is this. If you solve the steps I have told you, you will get full marks, 4 out of 4 in your answer. If you solve your whole question in this format, the question is checked by the paper checker and you will get 4 out of 4.